Dave here with Half Dozen Customs. We're back out here at the Jeep today. I've been out here already for about 3.5 hours, just getting this piece to fit. That's why I didn't want to record it. You guys watched me put it together yesterday. It was just 3.5 hours of fine-tuning. On the other side, we measured from the bottom of our new panel here up to our body line on the other side, and we were 24 7/8 at the front and the back. So yesterday we were at 25 on this side, so it needed to come down, or it needed to go up about 1/8 of an inch. So this morning I came out here, I trimmed about 1/8 inch off of both the inner and the outer panel and put it back up there, and it didn't change nothing. We were still at 25. Not only were we at 25, but it looked like it had actually grown by like 1/16 of an inch. So I don't know if my measurement was just off yesterday and we were actually bigger than 1/8 of an inch off, but at that point I was all the way up against the bottom of our box that we welded in and installed the other day. I should have never welded that thing in fully. I should have just left it tacked in. I thought we were good. We weren't. I ended up having to cut this box back out, and I moved the box up 1/8 of an inch, which allowed us to move both our inner and our outer structures up 1/8 of an inch. And I took another 1/8 of an inch off of everything, and we were still off by like 1/8 of an inch. So I ended up having, this time I only tacked the box on, so I ended up cutting my tacks. We moved the box up another 1/8 of an inch. I took another 1/8 inch off both inner and outer structure, and I put everything back together, and we were close. We were getting there. I was about 1/16 off at that point. So I took everything back apart again. I took another 1/16 off of where the box was, and 1/16 off of both the inner and outer structure, and now we're good. We're at 24 7/8 at the front and at the back of this. Exact same. I mean, we are spot on to the other side. So I think now we're about ready. So these door hinge pockets are pulled and stretched this way, and they're all smashed in here, top and bottom. They were like that on the other side. I ended up having to heat them up red hot with a torch and beat them and bang them and bend them back into position. I did it on the other side. The other side looks great. So I think we're ready to do that on this side. That'll bring this top of this panel in just a hair. Along with it, this panel will move too. Both of them, they're kind of pushed out, puckered out right now at this end because of the way that the hinge pocket is so bent out of shape. So we need to straighten those out, both top and bottom. And then I feel comfortable that we can cut this piece out now, and we can get this piece put in. And then I think after that's going to be straightening that stuff out and putting this piece in. It's probably going to be at least a few hours more work to get to that point. And then I think that we'll be okay to start building the inner structure of this rocker. So, and then I think that we're good to, you know, build that inner structure for that rocker. That inner structure for that rocker makes this rocker super strong, and then allows us to tie the rest of the truck into the rocker. So I don't see anything getting in our way of building that box, and then we should be able to test fit the door once we get to that point. Now I still need to test fit the fender again, and if everything lines up well, once this inner structure is built and we put the fender on and everything lines up well, I can mark where the bolts go on the bottom of the fender, and then we have to take this whole thing back apart again. I think I'm on like just this cab corner like I think I'm at 6 times now of putting it together, taking it apart, putting it together, taking it apart. So hopefully we don't have too much more of that, but we do have to blow it all back apart again to put the bolts in. So we're getting there. I was just giving you guys a little update as to where we're at with this. So I'm gonna take a little break right now, and we'll be back to straighten out these hinge panels. I'm gonna have to remove this panel to do that, to straighten out these hinge pockets. So we'll be back in a few minutes here. I'm gonna go get some coffee, and then we'll cut that panel back off and we'll straighten out these pockets. And then once we get the pockets straightened out, we can tack this lower panel back in place, and we can cut this out and make a new piece for that. Hopefully it won't take a few hours, but that's what I'm estimating at, is a few hours. So anyways, enough gabbing. See you in a few. All right, we're back out here. So before I start removing all this, if you guys remember, there was a gap in here. We were able to close up that gap when we were able to move the panel up. I pretty much trimmed everything. This did not get trimmed as much as all this, so we were able to clean up that gap and close that up. And then as we take this off, I was able to close up this gap in here as well. If you remember, we had a big giant hole missing here. I actually put a piece of metal in there and welded it in and grinded it down over on the table. So yeah, we were able to clean up all the things that I was kind of concerned about. So now no more concerns with anything other than just straighten out these hinge pockets and this panel next. The one thing that I do see about these hinge panels that these hinge pockets that I'm a little concerned about is that somebody has welded them up in the position that they're in. The other side was not like that. They've been pulled so far out that it actually has ripped the metal. The other side had the rips in it. I was able to straighten everything back out the way that it was and then weld up those rips. Somebody has already come in here and welded those rips up without straightening this panel out. So that's the only thing that I'm kind of concerned about. We may end up having to cut that back open, cut their welds, but we will see here very shortly. it's ready. Hopefully shortly. So if we come over here, I can show you guys. So these are the pockets for the hinge, and this should be straight up and down here. You can see that this is pulled out and the metal is actually folded in. So like I said, we need to heat all this up. You can see somebody's welded it already. It's like that on the top and on the bottom. So we may have to cut through these welds, grind them up, clean them up, but we'll see as we start to heat and straighten everything out. This one, you can actually see that the metal is ripped clear through to here. So, but we'll get it. I got the other side straightened out, so we'll get this side straightened out as well. All right, let's. First thing that I'm going to try and do is we're going to try and heat it up and bend this tab back out. Once we get it started, it'll go, but it's basically, it's smushed all the way over and flat. So I need to get behind it. So you can see where their welds are holding us up. Let's see, maybe we can grind them down a little bit, possibly cut them back open. Not too bad. I think this part of the pocket's caved in. Let's see if we can maybe heat this part of the pocket up and pry on that, open that up. You can see it's ripped right in there. Woo, that thing's hot, don't touch it. This bottom still needs to come out a little bit. As we're pulling out on the bottom, it's pulling this back. We're close. I think that's looking pretty good. I don't think we're going to get it much better than that. I think we can weld those up. say, because there's an indent and an indent. I would need a smaller. I see in the indents. It's pretty straight to me. Yeah. Crack on this side here. The grinding disc would help. This one's got a blowout in it. Alright, I think that that's pretty good. Alright, same thing. See how much I tried to get this top one? I was trying to get the hint out. So this was caused by, there's supposed to be this striker thing right here. That's missing. Ooh. It's missing, and when the Jeep came in here, they had like some kind of, I would say like a cloth stitched belt that had been cut down. Almost looked like a military belt. It was tan, and it was cut down, and they had it screwed to the inside of the truck and then to the door. I'm sure this damage was done well before that, but that strap didn't hold nothing. Like, it was a useless strap. You could still open these doors and open them all the way up to the side of the truck to where it was hitting. So, and the damage where we're going to replace this top panel here, where it looks like it was peppered with a shotgun from somebody hitting it with a pick hammer. It was that all that damage, the reason that they did that with the pick hammer is from this door opening up too far and crushing in that panel. So I can see this one here. We're going to have to do a little more work to this one than we did to the lower one. And you'll see why when we get to it. Again, we're probably going to have to cut these welds. At least this one, the bolt holes don't look like they're crushed in like the lower one was. So this one is definitely bent out of shape a little more than the lower one. top one, you can tell they welded it way in the wrong position. That is as much as we're gonna get that one out. I think it looks pretty good, but if you can look inside this crease, you can see that this panel is pushed in. So we're gonna have to pop any welds that are right here, and we're gonna have to grab onto just that skin, that outer skin, and we need to pull that way. So I had to do this on the other side as well. I think it was on the, I had to get up and get you guys a new battery, but when I stood up and looked at it, it looks like we need to go in still with it. So let's heat her back up, give her another good whack. So now I'm gonna get a screwdriver and see if we can get this panel, this outer skin, to pop away from there. On the other side I was lucky and none of it was attached. So I was able to just kind of pop it open a little bit and get a grip on it and pull. So, and how I do it and how I did the other side, was I tack a piece of sheet metal to the edge of the skin, and then I use my slide hammer for pulling dents to pull just on that piece. Okay, so it's not attached. Welded that lower structure. I didn't feel that we needed to cut that lower structure like we did with the rest of it. Okay, we are free. Now that I know that we're not attached. Straighten that out a little. So, I was showing you how you can see that that's puckered in there. You can see it in the outer skin, how it's curved. So, we'll take a thin piece of metal, like so, and we're gonna weld it to the inside of that curve. Right where we want to pull. I have, this is my slide hammer. You can still see that it has the original thing for the pins on there. I use a small piece of chain link, welded, and then a couple of good tacks up on the top. And now this is my pin puller. I tighten it all the way up. I can grab onto my pins and pull. I can then grab onto pieces of sheet metal like this and pull. It's much more of a useful tool when it has vice grips on the end. Then it's not just it's not only for pins. Then at that point in time, without the vice grips on there, it's not only for pins. You can use it for anything that you need to grab on and pull. So I've been doing this for years. A buddy of mine actually showed me this trick probably 20 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. These things that you use that grab the pins, these things suck. Half the time they don't want to grip on the pin, and then when they do grip on the pin, you can't get it to let go. So much easier, time saver, much more useful tool. So I'm gonna set you guys back here so you guys can watch as we pull that out. I'm gonna heat it up red hot again, and then we'll grab it and pull. I'm heating up the pocket right where we know that it's holding all that pressure, right where it's bent. You can see that door jamb pocket there, well, it's not supposed to be a pocket, but it's created a pocket because it's caved in there. Heat it up, go for another round. We got a lot of it out. I think so. Let's cut our piece of metal off. Let's hammer our jam back out so that it's flat. We'll hit it with the grinder and clean it up. Oh my goodness. Never ending with this truck. Obviously this whole piece right here is caved in as well. That thing we will be eliminating that. So, but this does look a lot better. Maybe do one more. I need to go get my phone and take some pictures of this. We're gonna put some pins in here. We're gonna pull this back out. I'm gonna take this off. We're gonna grind this clean here, and we're gonna pull this out before we pull this, because pulling this out may roll this in again, and we may need to then pull. So let me go get my phone's in the house, so let me go grab that. Be right back. Oh boy, baby. So this is for those of you who don't know, this is it's a stud gun. This particular one is from Harbor Freight. I forget exactly. I think they're right around like 130 bucks or 150 bucks, somewhere right around there. So, and that's what this modified tool is for. So they got these cool new ones. Well, I don't know how new they are, but they're new to me. I wouldn't mind getting one, but it's actually just attached to this, and you have your pin, and you put your pin and hit the button and it welds it to it, and then you know, give your little wappa-tappa. A lot of times they just pop off, but if they actually do stick, you give it a little twist and it pops off, and the pins stay on the end of it, and it's just reusable. You can just keep reusing it, and the pins are interchangeable when they get too small. But it's all just contained in one unit then. Him out of my way anyways. I'm going in between everything now, in between those first sets. Doing light taps because I don't want to crush this back in. You know, there's a weak spot there, but I think we're pretty good. There was a lot of damage in this area, so we're gonna weld that guy up. I'm happy with that. All right, I will check back in with you guys here in a little bit. I'm gonna figure out what I want to do next. I think we're gonna cut this out and make a new panel for that, and I think we'll make a plug for this. We still got to weld up our little cut that we made up here. I didn't want to weld him up before we pulled this, just in case like I accidentally welded you know, that panel to the jam, then we would have had to go back and cut it so that I could heat it and pull it. So I wanted to heat it and pull it first. Well, we need to grind it up, clean it up, weld it up. But yeah, we're rocking and rolling, getting stuff done. I'll be back. All right, so we're back after dinner. 43 minutes of the memory card left. So I did do a couple of things in between getting dinner ready. So up here, this is where the fender mounts to the firewall. And this one was split and cracked all the way around. Well, not all the way around, but you know, a little more than halfway around. So I put some stud pins in here, and I pulled the metal back even where it needed to be, and we welded that up. And then I cleaned up. I cleaned up and marked this panel off to be cut. We still gotta clean up and finish cleaning up and welding up this top hinge. So we still have that. You guys seen me pin pull this. I did pin pull a little bit of this area here because it was creased in beyond where I was gonna cut. So I pulled that first. So yeah, I think that's where we're at. I'm gonna cut this out real quick, and then we'll get it transferred over to a new piece of metal, and hopefully get this corner kind of tacked back together. We'll see how we end up. I got about 30 minutes left. All right, we'll have to see. So this is put back in here so that this panel doesn't vibrate or rattle. So we will have to make sure that this can go back in without, you know, affecting the way that the panel's sitting or anything like that. I don't see an issue with it. It looks like I can reach it from inside. So once we get the panel all put together, it looks like I can maybe tuck it in there. Maybe put a little spray glue on there so that it stays in place. Don't think that we're going to get this panel installed today. I should probably sandblast and paint all this since I can get to it. I wasn't really too worried about it, but now that I wasn't even thinking about it, but I guess we could fix it or treat it, do something at the very least, just put some PR15 over it. That would be a lot less messy. well, we are cut open, and we can treat this metal now, and we can transfer over this patch and create the new patch. I was just kind of hoping to have all this kind of tacked together tonight. I hate sandblasting. It makes such a mess of my shop. Well, right. What are you gonna do about it?
Alright, let's just get this done.
Put a little color on this, let it protected. I'll be back at it tomorrow. Alright, well, I'll put a couple more coats on there. We'll let it sit overnight, and tomorrow we can come and get this panel situated. I don't want to paint all down here yet because we still got to weld all this stuff in. So we'll do that before we put the cab corner piece on. But yeah, so I think we had a good day. We got a lot of stuff done. We got the hinge pockets fixed. There was a ton of fitment going on down here, and we got that all squared away. We got a bunch of dents pulled up here, got the antenna pulled. We repaired some of the mounts here. I do see, now that I can see the inside of this one, I can see daylight through here, so I'm gonna have to weld this guy up tomorrow too. It does look like he has a small crack in him, so we'll weld that up tomorrow. So, but tomorrow's another day. I will see you guys later. Have a good night. Remember, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. I'm out.